Everyone goes to Cancun and they book a resort, but me, I decided to book an Airbnb, and honestly, it was one of the best decisions I decided to do my entire trip. And let me tell you why. Effortlessly, effortlessly. So the main reason that I didn't book a resort was going to be the reviews on the food. I am a foodie at heart, and I seen a lot of reviews saying that the food was not very good. I know most of it is like buffet style, and I'm not expecting like chef quality food from a buffet, but I like buffets. I like golden buffet. I like golden corral, so like I would assume the food would be at least like edible. But I watched several vlogs, I watched several YouTube videos, I watched several TikToks, and everybody was just saying that the food was just not really that good. A lot of people were saying that they still ended up like eating out or ordering food because the food was bad. And why am I paying hundreds of dollars a night to stay at a hotel with food included, and I'm spending extra money because like the food is bad? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Also, I know a lot of resorts have different restaurants and you can make reservations for them, but one, I've seen a lot of people saying that like you have to go up in person to make the resort, or you can't like make it in advance, you have to make it like the day of. And I don't know, I just didn't really want to deal with all that. I knew that I could just, like find other restaurants that I knew I wanted to come to. The restaurants more than likely did not need a reservation, and yeah. Now, while doing my research, I did find a couple places that did have good reviews, but it was out of my budget as a solo traveler. I was by myself, and there was no way that I was paying like, it was starting off at like $500 a night, and there was no way I was paying that much money by myself for my birthday. Like, yes, it is my birthday, but who's paying $500? That's not even including excursions. That's not even including the flight. Babes, I only spent $1,500 on the whole trip. So like, what? So yeah, I would rather save all of that money and spend it towards other things. Like, I went shopping, I did excursions, all of that. If you want to see more of what I did on my trip, definitely go check out my vlog. And honestly, I was so happy with the Airbnb that I picked. I'll leave it down below if you want to see a room tour. I have that in my Cancun solo trip vlog, but it came with like literally like the co-host that the Airbnb host had. He literally gave me recommendations for so many different things. The Airbnb was so beautiful. It had, like refrigerator, microwave, everything, a balcony, a hammock, and it was very walkable towards a lot of different restaurants. There was at least like 20 restaurants within like a 10-minute radius. So it was close to a bunch of restaurants. I never went hungry. I always had different things to try. And it truly gave me like, this is my first time out of the country, but whenever I like to travel within the United States, I like to feel like a local. I don't want to feel like I'm in the touristy area. So I really wanted to feel like I was in Mexico and not just like on a resort in some country, like, and all the resorts look the same. And I don't, like, I really wanted to experience Mexico, and I feel like that's what I did. So if you're thinking about going to Cancun, whether that's solo or with a bunch of other people, definitely consider booking an Airbnb. A lot of people told me that I shouldn't do this and that it wasn't the safest option, but I felt safe my entire trip. There was nothing, the only thing that made me feel unsafe was that like certain areas I didn't have like the best cell phone service, but that's not on the Airbnb or the resort. That's on me and my cell phone service. So yeah, I definitely felt safe. I didn't feel like there was a guard, there was somebody at the gate, there was a lock on the gate to the door for my Airbnb. To me, everything was super nice, and I'm very glad that I decided to go with an Airbnb instead of a resort. If you're into solo trips, or if you're just into budget traveling, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because that's what your girl here is all about. So I will see you on my next video.